Here is a story that came out this week, and it's wild. 3 people in Denmark have just been sentenced to prison. Not a fine, not a warning, actual prison. One of them got 5 years. What did they do? They ran websites that sold ordinary stuff, household goods, books, electronics, eyelash serums, and buried in the checkout process was a hidden subscription. Customers thought they were buying a product once. Instead, they were signed up to a recurring charge they have never agreed to. The courts in Glostrup and Randers ruled it was fraud of a particularly serious nature. The total subscription revenue pulled from unsuspecting consumers across the Danish, Swedish and German sites alone was at least 150 million Danish kroners, 100 million Swedish kroners and 3.2 million euros. That's not a technicality, that's organized theft. And today we're talking about subscription traps, how they work, how to find the ones you might already be caught in, and how to get out. Because the companies that send people to prison this week are just the most extreme version of something that happens on a much smaller scale all the time. Welcome back to WebshopSavvy, where we help you shop smarter, safer, and with fewer regrets. So what exactly happened on those sites? You'd land on something like Plus.dk or Copenhagen Lashes.dk, see a product at a reasonable price, go through the checkout, and somewhere in that process, often in tiny text or pre-checked box that was easy to miss, you are agreeing to monthly subscription. The Copenhagen Lashes site, for example, was selling eyelash serum products. The court found that it was not made clear to customers that buying a product also signed them up to a subscription of at least 260 kroner a month. The company even stored customers' card details to charge a double subscription payment on the 30th and 31st of December 2020, right between Christmas and New Year, when people are least likely to notice. That's the extreme end. But the playbook is more common than you think, just with lower stakes and less blatant execution. You'll recognize some of these. A free trial that requires your card details with a paid subscription starting automatically on the 8th. An app or service where cancellation is buried 5 menus deep. A premium upgrade you clicked past on a checkout page that quietly became a monthly charge. Or a loyalty program sign-up that included a paid tier you didn't fully read. The business model relies entirely on inertia. Most people won't notice a $9.99 charge for months. Some won't notice for years. Alright, let's do something practical. This is your subscription audit and it takes about 20 minutes. Step 1. Go through your bank and card statements 3 months back. Don't rely on your memory. Go line by line. You're looking for any recurring charge, even small ones. $4.99, $9.99, $14.99. Those are the amounts designed to slide under your radar. Note every single one you don't immediately recognize. Step 2. Check your email for welcome or confirmation messages. Search your inbox for the words like subscription, welcome to, your membership, billing starts, free trial. You'll often find signed up confirmations for things you've completely forgotten about. Step 3. Check your phone's app store. On iPhone, settings, your name, subscriptions. On Android, Play Store, your name, payments and subscriptions. App subscriptions are a separate category that many people completely overlook. Step 4. Check PayPal if you use it. PayPal has its own subscription and billing agreement section. Settings, payments, manage pre-approved payments. Recurring charges through PayPal don't always show up cleanly in your bank statement. Step 5. Make a list. For anything you can't immediately identify, write it down, the amount, the date it charges, and whatever name appears on the statement. Sometimes that name is an obscure company name, not the brand you recognize. A quick Google search of the billing descriptor usually reveals what it is. Here's where being in the EU works strongly in your favor. The cancellation must be as easy as a sign-up. Under EU consumer law and specifically the Consumer Rights Directive, businesses cannot make it harder to cancel a contract than it was to enter one. That means if you signed up with one click online, a company that forces you to call a phone number during business hours to cancel is already on a shaky legal ground. You can push back on that. You did not consent to what you didn't see. This is the principle the Danish courts applied this week, and it applies across the EU. If a subscription was hidden in a fine print, buried in a pre-ticked box, or not clearly disclosed before you paid, you may not be legally bound by it. The Danish Supreme Court already confirmed this in December 2023 in a civil case involving the exact same Plus Deco companies. Consumers who bought products on those sites were not bound by the subscription agreements because the process was, in the court's own words, grossly misleading and clearly unlawful. You have chargeback rights. If you have been charged for a subscription you didn't knowingly agree to, contact your bank. Ask about chargeback. This is a formal dispute process that can reverse unauthorized or contested charges. In the Copenhagen Lashes case, around half of the 3.1 million kroner in subscription charges was actually returned to consumers through chargebacks and bank refunds. Your bank is often your fastest and most effective route. File a complaint if the company won't cooperate. In Denmark, that's a consumer ombudsman. Every EU country has an equivalent authority. If a company is ignoring your cancellation request or refusing to refund unauthorized charges, report them. The cases this week started from exactly that, consumers filing complaints. Okay, you've done your audit. You found the subscriptions you want out of. Here's how to actually cancel them. For legitimate services, go directly to account settings in the app or website. Look for billing, subscriptions or memberships. If you can't find it, Google service name how to cancel. They are dedicated sites that list the exact steps for hundreds of services. For grey area or non-responsive companies, send a written cancellation notice by email. Be explicit, state the date, say you are cancelling subscriptions and recurring charges effective immediately, and ask for written confirmation. Keep a copy. This paper trail matters if you need to escalate. For companies that make cancellation deliberately difficult, consider contacting your bank or card provider and asking them to block future charges from that merchant. This is sometimes called stopping a continuous payment authority. You have the right to do this in the EU. Your bank cannot refuse it. For charges you believe were never authorized, go straight to the chargeback route. You generally have 120 days from the charge to initiate a chargeback for an unauthorized or misrepresented transaction, though this can vary by bank and card type. One more thing. When you cancel, actually check that the cancellation went through. Log back in after a few days. Check your next statement. Some services quietly reinstate charges, especially if cancellation process involves multiple steps. 3 habits that will save you a lot of hassle. First, before you complete any checkout on a website you haven't used before, scroll through the full order summary. Look for any mention of membership, subscription, or recurring. If a site won't let you buy without agreeing to something you didn't initiate, that's a red flag. Second, before you enter your card details for a free trial, Google the company name plus subscription trap or reviews. The warning signs are almost always there if you look. Third, consider using a virtual card number for free trials. Many banks and services now offer this, a temporary card number that you can cancel or freeze without affecting your main account. It's the cleanest way to try something without giving them a permanent route to your money. The 3 people sentenced in Denmark this week ran their subscription traps for years, in one case from 2017 all the way to 23, continuing even after the Consumer Ombudsman filed criminal complaints. That's how confident they were that nobody would push back hard enough. The good news is that enforcement is getting much more serious. The EU's 2025-2030 consumer agenda specifically targets exactly these kinds of dark patterns. The laws are on your side, but the first step is always the same: know what's actually charging you. Do the audit, 20 minutes, your bank statement from last 3 months. You might be surprised what you find. If this episode was useful, subscribe to WebshopSavvy. This is exactly what we do here: practical consumer knowledge for European shoppers without the jargon. And this subscription is free of charge. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever discovered a subscription you didn't remember signing up for? Drop your story in the comments, and if you successfully fought one of these companies and won your money back, I genuinely want to know how you did it. See you in the next episode. Until then, stay warm and safe.